Oh, hello everyone. This is a match on the top 8 of the showcase against XdingusKhan, and I'm on the play. I looked at his MTG Goldfish page and he's almost certainly on Oops. That seems to be the only deck he plays in Legacy. So we're gonna act accordingly. We're in the play. We're basically gonna mull until we find either a crop rot or a cage. Ideally a cage. A cage is just it's pretty much GG on game 1. Like this hand has a Saga, has a Ghost Quarter, it can Bossage you, like it has some merits, and we're on 6. We can start Wasteland locking him, but I don't care. I want a cage or a Crop Rot. This hand has a Crop Rot, but no green source. We're going to 4. We don't care, like I said. You just do it. And now, okay, we finally found a hand with Crop Rot, no cage, but no, this is a nice 4 actually, because we have a Saga to find a cage event. Eventually we have a Wasteland to, slow him down. This is what we keep. He mulled to 4 as well, and it's pretty certain he Zoops. And we start with Bossage Go. We cannot start with Saga here. Even at 4, I mean, he could turn 1. He goes for a Cabal Therapy. We have to assume our opponent is minimally smart here and he's gonna name Crop Rotation. So we crop first for a Saga, so we get a cage a turn earlier. And we just hope this Wasteland will buy us enough time for the cage to resolve and we win the game. So he thinks for a while and he ends up naming Disruptor Flute, which is the correct name, I think, in this situation. But we don't have it. We draw a Rumble. We waste him. And like it's really hard for him to, with 4 cards, to go for it this turn. And he doesn't, and now it's GG. Like, we're just gonna grab a cage. We actually draw the cage, which is good, because now we can grab a Mox and play Rumble and start developing our game. Kind of Thespian stage. Like, we could go for a Maze of It to prevent the janky beatdown plan, but I think this is better. We have to win at some point, so whenever we find the depths, we just win. And yeah, opponents, he's gonna try his best. He's gonna play a Bogart Trawler, but this is not gonna get there. We find a Loam, we eventually start Loam looping, we find the depths, and it's GG. We're off to game 2. Now it's just like we saw in the other video. This is how you sideboard. Really, Oops is actually a really good match. I barely ever lose to Oops. You just have to mow adequately. And you just have to have the correct hate cards and enough of them. Like if you start skimping on Fairy Macabres and stuff, it gets ugly pretty quickly. But as long as you have it and you know your opponent is on Oops, you should be pretty favored. So this is how we sideboard. We take out the Lava Spore Boots. That's actually the correct card to take, not the Exploration. In this hand, okay, we're on the draw. We have a Macabre. We cannot mold this. It's really bad that we have a Bojuka Bog in hand with Crop Rot. But like we have to mold to either a Macabre or an Endurance, or if we're desperate, like Once Upon a Time and maybe a Cage. So this Bojuka Bog is really bad, but... Okay, here comes the live commentary. That was a surprise. Let me fix this and keep the non-live commentary, I guess. Um, and yeah, we cannot mold this. Our opponent's gonna start with 7, I think. 6 cards, he goes down to 6. And he starts with a Chancellor. That doesn't change much for us. Macabre doesn't require casting, and I think we can play Force of Vigor with no targets. Yeah, it says up to 2. He goes for the turn 1 Undercity Informer, but he doesn't have the extra mana. We draw Flute. This is not gonna help us. We cannot Crop Rot for an Ancient Tomb with Chancellor on the stack. And I mean, we just hope this Macabre is good enough. And if it isn't, like if he has Memory's Journey and whatever, then next turn, of course, we can try to play the Flute. We can play the Force of Vigor for no targets, just to get rid of the Chancellor, and next turn we play the Flute for Thassa's Oracle, and we should win the game. Here I'm debating doing this, but it's really not necessary. But as it turns out, there's not going to be a second turn. He wasted all his Spirit Guides, so all we have to do is get rid of the Thassa's Oracle, and it's GG. We always let the Cabal Therapy go on the stack first, though, because that's one less Cabal Therapy for him. Maybe he has to Cabal Therapy himself to put another Thassa's Oracle on the grave or some stuff like that, and you always make him waste the first one. We go for a Macabre, and yeah, exiling the Journey and the Oracle, and that's GG. He doesn't have a Spirit Guide. So, I mean, that's how you beat Oops. Sometimes the games are complex, but